All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about something you probably don't think about much, but it could be a total game changer for your productivity. We're exploring the powerful and pretty surprising link between your gut health and how you perform at work. So, have you ever had one of those days? It's 3 o'clock, you're staring at your screen, and it feels like your brain has just checked out. That afternoon slump is real, right? We've all been there. And it's so easy to just reach for another cup of coffee. But what if the real solution isn't in your mug? What if the key to better energy and focus is actually in your gut? That's exactly where we're headed. Okay, so first up, let's get into this whole idea of your gut's secret role. You might have heard people call it the second brain, and honestly, that's not an exaggeration. It's doing so much more than just digesting your lunch. It's having this huge and often totally overlooked impact on how you think and feel every single day. And at the very center of all this is something called the microbiome. Now, don't let the sciencey word throw you. Just picture a bustling city of trillions of tiny microbes living inside your gut. This massive community influences pretty much everything, from your mood to your metabolism. So, how does this all work? How does your gut actually talk to your brain? Well, for starters, a huge chunk of your mood-regulating neurotransmitters, things like serotonin, are actually made in your gut. Crazy, right? It also helps keep your blood sugar stable, which is key to avoiding those energy crashes. A healthy gut also means a stronger immune system, so fewer sick days. And, get this, it even helps you handle stress better by keeping hormones like cortisol in check, which frees up your brain power. A happy gut really does equal a high-performing brain. Okay, so if this microbiome is so critical, the next logical question is, how do we take care of it? Well, that's where probiotics enter the picture. You can think of them as backup for your internal team, the reinforcements you call in. So what are they? Probiotics are basically the good guys. They're live, helpful microorganisms that, when you get enough of them, help bolster that healthy community of microbes we were just talking about. But, we have to be real here for a second. Probiotics are not some kind of magic pill that's going to solve all your problems overnight. The effects are usually pretty modest, and they're super person-dependent. What works for me might not work the same for you. But over time, those small benefits can really add up and make a noticeable difference. So what kind of difference are we talking about? Well, some probiotics can help your body produce more of the calming neurotransmitter GABA. They can also help fight that low-grade inflammation that's often behind that feeling of brain fog. Plus, they can help you avoid that dreaded post-lunch energy slump by keeping your blood sugar in check. And, like we mentioned, they give your immune system a little boost so you can bounce back faster when you get sick. All right, so if you're thinking, okay, I'm in, where do I find these things? You're in the right place. Let's talk about the best ways to get probiotics into your system. The number one recommendation from pretty much all the experts is to start with whole foods first. And there's a really good reason for that. When you eat probiotic-rich foods, you're not just getting the good microbes. You're also getting other nutrients and prebiotic fibers, which are basically the fuel that your good gut bacteria need to thrive. And the best part? There are a ton of delicious options. We're talking about things like yogurt, dahi, and chas, or kefir. You've got fermented foods like idli and dosa. And of course, things like sauerkraut and kimchi, buttermilk and lassi, or even tempeh and miso. The key thing to look for on labels is live, active cultures. That's how you know you're getting the good stuff. So, that brings up the big question. Foods or supplements? Which one's better? Well, think of it this way. Foods give you that whole package deal, the microbes, the nutrients, the fiber, and they're usually cheaper. Supplements give you convenience and precision. You know exactly which strains you're getting and how much. That's the CFU count on the bottle. Honestly, there's no single right answer. It really just comes down to what fits your life and your goals. Okay, we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get to the how, because knowing all this is great, but it doesn't mean much if you don't put it into action. So here's a super simple plan designed for busy people like you. Check this out, a 7-day starter plan. The whole idea here is to start small so it doesn't feel overwhelming. We're not talking about a crazy diet overhaul. For the first couple days, just add some yogurt or buttermilk to your breakfast. Then, a few days later, try swapping your usual sugary afternoon snack for something fermented and maybe a few nuts. Before you know it, you've built a new, healthy habit without even trying too hard. And hey, this isn't just on you as an individual. Think about the workplace. Companies can make a huge difference here with just a few small tweaks. Imagine if the office cafeteria started offering plain yogurt, or if the pantry stocked kefir instead of sugary sodas. These are tiny, low-cost nudges that could have a massive payoff for everyone's health and focus. Okay, so let's say you start doing this. What's the payoff? What can you actually expect to feel? And maybe more importantly, when? Let's break down a realistic timeline. Now, this is a slow burn, not a quick fix. In the first week or so, you might just notice your digestion feels a little better, maybe less bloating. But if you stick with it for 2 to 6 weeks, that's when many people start to report more stable energy levels. And if you keep it up for a couple of months, that's when those deeper benefits for your mood, stress levels, and even sleep can start to kick in. The absolute key is consistency. So the big takeaway here is please don't try to overhaul your entire diet tomorrow. Just start small. The challenge is simple. This week, just add one fermented food to your day. That's it. And then, be your own scientist. Just pay attention to your body. Notice your digestion, your focus, and especially that afternoon energy level. And that really brings us to our final thought. After everything we've talked about, I want you to ask yourself, what's the one small change you're willing to make this week that could lead to a massive return on your performance? What's your first step going to be?